Back over at this property in the backyard, this is kind of this little, the end of their property, they got a creek down here. I think all the storm water from the city runs down through it. So there's usually always a little bit of water in it, but not a ton. But they do consider this kind of a floodplain down here. So they wouldn't let them really build it up or alter it a whole lot. We were able to kind of shape and slope the back. So I got this cleaned up the other day because this wasn't too bad. It was just maybe 4 or 5 feet of weeds and Johnson grass and junk like that. So stripped all that off, cleaned the bottom up where I can. And I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen, but now they would like me to reshape the rest of the hill. Not all the way with what they own, but probably up there, maybe in line with like Dad's excavator and stuff. So there's maybe 60 feet, 70 feet right here on this bank that I'm going to attempt to kind of pull some of it down. And then up there by his stuff, we got kind of a, I'm sure it was just filler brought in, kind of like a mound up there we're going to cut off and move over to here and kind of reshape. But like I said, they're happy with how this comes out. It's still somewhat steep to get a mower on, but like I said, they wouldn't really let us build it up or alter it or anything a whole lot. I can't really see them changing too much where it would back up or flood. That guy was trying to build it up and do more, and they shut him down. So they're kind of looking for the same thing over on this property. I actually thought I was done, which I pretty much am, but I was here to pick up the 260 and the 12, and the homeowner came home on lunch and kind of walked through there. So basically, they're really happy with how this half of it looks. So now they want me to try to mimic this other half. So normally I would probably go and grab the 2150, but since I've already got these two machines on site, I think I can do the job with them. It may take just slightly longer, but there's also not a ton of room because now they've got the sod up on the top. So trying to get down here, because like I said, about, I guess that bigger tree with the fork is where we're really going to stop the slope and just kind of let it go back natural there. So like I said, it's really just this part of it. So I'm going to try to shape what I can here, and then we'll have quite a bit of stuff up here from the top on this mound, but they've got all the other sod put down, so it came out really, really nice. But you can see about where I can drive through here. So I'm just going to try to kind of grab that and pull some of that down, and then I started raking up the dirt back there to push around. So yeah, for now, we'll just jump in the 260 and start trying to rake a little bit of this down. Then I can just take the loader and kind of start shoving it off the side, tracking it in and sloping it. It may end up, I don't know, we'll probably have material out to about the bucket. And that's still going to be pretty steep to mow, but it'll be a little more manageable and look a whole lot nicer. So, and some of these trees, there's a chance that they're not all going to make it, because part of it was already kind of backfilled when we started on a few of them. We'll leave the bigger one up there at the top. I may take this small one down and try to rip these vines and stuff like that down and clean a little bit of that up. Yeah, kind of job security over here, so I will take that every time.